Imagine you're sitting in a quiet room, listening to the universe through one of the world's largest radio telescopes. For hours, nothing. Just the usual background noise from distant stars and galaxies. Then suddenly, a powerful signal appears. Not for minutes, not for hours, just 72 seconds. But those 72 seconds would become one of the greatest mysteries in human history. The signal was so unusual that the astronomer who discovered it circled it on the computer printout and wrote one simple word beside it. Wow! And that's exactly what the signal has been called ever since. But here's the terrifying part. Nearly 50 years later, nobody knows where it came from. Could have been a rare, natural event, a secret cosmic phenomenon, or was it the first message humanity ever received from another intelligent civilization? The story begins on August 15, 1977, at Ohio State University's famous Big Ear radio telescope in the United States. Unlike normal telescopes that capture light, Big Ear listened to invisible radio waves traveling across the universe. Every day, it collected enormous amounts of data from deep space. Most of it was completely ordinary. Until one afternoon, researcher Jerry Emmon noticed something that instantly caught his attention. A strange sequence of letters and numbers. 6EQUJ5. To almost everyone, it looked like meaningless computer code. But to radio astronomers, it meant something extraordinary. The signal was incredibly powerful, far stronger than the normal background radio noise from space. Even stranger, it matched the exact frequency of 1,420 megahertz. Why is that important? Because this is known as the hydrogen line, a special frequency naturally emitted by hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. For decades, scientists have believed that if intelligent aliens ever try to contact another civilization, they might choose this exact frequency, because every advanced civilization should recog. For decades, scientists have believed that if intelligent aliens ever try to contact another civilization, they might choose this exact frequency, because every advanced civilization should recognize it. And somehow, that's exactly where the mysterious signal appeared. Even more incredible, the signal behaved exactly like something coming from deep space. It gradually became stronger, reached a peak, then slowly faded away as the Earth rotated. Precisely what scientists would expect from a real object located far beyond our planet. Everything about it looked authentic, except for one problem. It never came back. Scientists pointed their telescopes toward the same region again, and again, and again. Nothing. Complete silence. It was as if the universe had whispered a single sentence, then refused to speak ever again. But the wow signal wasn't the only strange message we've ever received. In the years that followed, scientists detected even stranger signals, some repeating hundreds of times, others releasing more energy in a single millisecond than our sun produces in several days. And those mysteries are even harder to explain. Just when scientists thought the wow signal couldn't get any stranger, the universe did something even more unbelievable. In 2007, while analyzing old telescope recordings, astronomers discovered an incredibly powerful burst of radio energy. It lasted for less than 5 milliseconds. To put that into perspective, you blink your eyes in about 300 milliseconds. This mysterious signal was over 60 times shorter than a single blink. Yet, during those few milliseconds, it released as much energy as our sun produces over several days. Scientists named these events fast radio bursts, or simply FRBs. At first, many researchers believed it was just a technical error. Maybe the telescope had malfunctioned. Maybe the signal came from Earth. But then, another FRB appeared, and another, then dozens more. Today, astronomers have detected thousands of fast radio bursts coming from distant galaxies billions of light years away. Some explode only once, then disappear forever. But others are even stranger. They repeat, again, and again, and again. One of the most famous repeating signals is called FRB121102. It has sent hundreds of mysterious bursts from the exact same location in a tiny dwarf galaxy nearly 3 billion light-years from Earth. Imagine receiving repeated knocks on your front door, but every time you open it, no one is there. That's exactly how these repeating signals feel to scientists. So, what's creating them? Some researchers think they're caused by magnetars, dead stars with magnetic fields so powerful they could erase the data on every credit card on Earth from thousands of kilometers away. Others believe they might come from collisions between ultra-dense neutron stars, or massive black holes feeding on nearby matter. And, of course, whenever a mystery like this appears, people ask the same question: could these be messages from an alien civilization? So far, there's no scientific evidence that FRBs are artificial. Everything we've observed can still be explained by extreme natural events. But here's the twist. The universe hasn't revealed the full answer yet. Scientists are still discovering new FRBs almost every week, and each one brings new questions instead of clear answers. And if you think these bursts are mysterious, wait until you hear about a star that blinked in a way no one could explain. For a while, some scientists even wondered if a giant alien structure was hiding around it. Imagine looking at a distant star, and suddenly, its light begins to disappear. Not because a planet passes in front of it, not because of a normal eclipse, but because something enormous seems to be blocking it. In 2015, astronomers studying data from NASA's Kepler Space Telescope noticed something they had never seen before. A star called KIC 846-2852, better known as Tabby star, was behaving in a completely bizarre way. Normally, when a planet crosses in front of a star, its brightness drops by about 1%. But Tabby star sometimes became 15%, even 22% dimmer. That was far too much for a normal planet to cause. Even stranger, the dimming wasn't regular. There was no predictable pattern. Sometimes the star faded for days, sometimes for weeks. Scientists were completely confused. Then came the theory that exploded across the internet. What if a gigantic alien megastructure was orbiting the star? Some people imagined a Dyson sphere, a massive artificial structure built by an advanced civilization to capture the energy of its entire star. It sounded like science fiction, but because no better explanation existed at the time, even a few scientists said the idea was worth investigating. News spread around the world. Headlines claimed we might have found evidence of intelligent aliens. Radio telescopes were pointed directly at Tabby star, listening for any possible signal. But nothing. No radio messages. No artificial transmissions. As more observations were collected, astronomers found a much more likely explanation. The strange dimming was probably caused by huge clouds of cosmic dust passing in front of the star. Not aliens, just an incredibly unusual natural phenomenon. But the mystery didn't end there, because only a few years later, scientists detected another strange radio signal from deep space. This one was called SHGb02+14a. For a short time, some researchers wondered if it could be an artificial transmission. However, after careful analysis, there wasn't enough evidence to support that idea. Today, most scientists consider it unconfirmed, and there's no reliable proof that it came from intelligent life. So, after decades of listening to the universe, we've heard signals we can't fully explain, stars behaving in impossible ways, and bursts of energy crossing billions of light years. But what does all of this really mean? In the final part, we'll discover why scientists still keep listening to the silence of space, and why the next mysterious signal could change human history forever. For thousands of years, humans looked up at the night sky and wondered one simple question: are we alone? Today, our telescopes are more powerful than ever. Every single day, they listen to billions of radio frequencies coming from every corner of the universe. Most of what they hear is completely normal. The quiet hum of stars, the whispers of distant galaxies, and the natural noise of space itself. But every once in a while, something unexpected appears. A signal that doesn't fit, a burst that arrives without warning, or a mystery that leaves scientists searching for answers for decades. The truth is, not every unexplained signal is proof of aliens. In fact, history has shown that many cosmic mysteries eventually turn out to have natural explanations. The wow signal has never been detected again. Fast radio bursts are now thought to come from some of the most extreme objects in the universe, although scientists are still studying exactly how they're produced. And Tabby star, once linked to alien megastructures, is now most likely explained by massive clouds of cosmic dust. But that's what makes science so fascinating. It doesn't jump to conclusions. It keeps asking questions, testing ideas, and following the evidence wherever it leads. And here's something incredible to think about. The radio waves you're surrounded by right now, signals from phones, satellites, and television, are already leaking into space. If another intelligent civilization exists somewhere in our galaxy, they could eventually detect tiny traces of our existence, just as we search for theirs. Maybe one day, a signal will arrive that repeats, carries information, or contains a pattern that nature simply cannot create. If that day ever comes, it won't just be the biggest discovery in astronomy. It could become the biggest discovery in human history. Until then, the universe remains silent. Or perhaps, it's speaking in a language we still haven't learned to understand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed exploring the greatest mysteries of space, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to ToonTheory, and tell us in the comments. What do you think the wow signal really was? Because the next mysterious message could arrive at any moment.